In a significant development that could reshape Ghana's industrial future, a new partnership has emerged with the potential to launch the country into the centre of Africa's electric vehicle revolution. On June 12, 2025, Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa announced that both parties, Ghana and its international counterpart, have officially agreed to work towards the establishment of an electric vehicle manufacturing plant within Ghana's borders. This move is more than symbolic. It's a foundational step toward positioning Ghana as a major player in green automotive technology across West Africa. Before we get into today's story, do me a solid. Tap that like button, subscribe if you're new here, share this video with someone who'll appreciate it, and don't forget to drop your thoughts down in the comments. I go through every single one, and your feedback really helps push the channel forward and keeps the discussions alive. Now listen closely, make sure you stick around from start to finish, because what I'm about to reveal is one of the most groundbreaking infrastructure developments in Ghana's automotive history. This isn't just another diplomatic meeting or a photo op headline. This announcement, made public through Ablakwa's verified X, formerly Twitter page, signals the beginning of a tangible project with both economic and environmental significance. The vision is clear. Ghana is anchoring this initiative on its strategic lithium deposits, aiming to become the backbone of sustainable mobility in the region. They're not just talking about mining minerals, they're planning to build vehicles, power systems, and possibly an entire green industry cluster. Ghana has for years been rich in resources: gold, bauxite, oil, and now lithium. But historically, those resources have often been extracted and exported with minimal local value addition. This time, however, the model appears to be shifting. Lithium, the light metal that powers the batteries in electric vehicles, smartphones, and laptops, has quickly become one of the most sought-after minerals in the global energy transition. By choosing to build an EV plant on the back of domestic lithium resources, Ghana is making a strategic decision to capture a greater share of the global clean energy value chain. The timing of this initiative couldn't be more aligned with global trends. Countries around the world, from the United States to China, from Norway to South Africa, are racing to meet climate targets by transitioning to electric mobility. Car manufacturers like Tesla, BYD, Ford, and Volkswagen are ramping up production, but the industry faces a bottleneck: access to reliable, ethically sourced lithium. This is where Ghana steps in. By building a lithium-powered EV manufacturing hub, they're not just participating in the green transition, they're staking their claim as a critical supplier and producer in the emerging global ecosystem. What's particularly compelling is how this project fits into the broader vision of Ghana's current leadership under President John Mahama. His administration has placed a strong emphasis on industrialization, not just in speeches but in practical policy. From agricultural processing plants to infrastructure for digital technology, the focus has consistently been on building industries that create jobs, retain value, and reduce dependence on imported finished goods. An electric vehicle plant is not only consistent with that vision, but it also elevates it into the high-tech, future-facing economy. This initiative could create a ripple effect across multiple sectors. For one, it offers the potential for job creation on an unprecedented scale. Beyond just factory workers, there will be demand for engineers, electricians, IT specialists, logistics operators, and quality control analysts. It opens up career paths for students in polytechnics and universities, especially those studying mechanical engineering, battery chemistry, energy systems, or sustainable design. It could spark innovation hubs and research partnerships between industry and academia, pushing Ghana's educational institutions to evolve and lead in clean tech development. The location of the plant hasn't been officially announced yet, but it's likely to be influenced by proximity to lithium mining sites and major transportation infrastructure such as ports, highways, and rail networks. Key regions like the Volta, Western, or Ashanti regions may become candidates, depending on where Ghana's confirmed lithium reserves are most concentrated, and where the logistical support makes the most economic sense. But as exciting as this vision is, there are serious considerations that must not be ignored. The extraction of lithium is a process that, if poorly managed, can have significant environmental consequences. Contamination of groundwater, destruction of landscapes, and the displacement of local communities. Ghana's government must ensure that the lithium extraction is done responsibly, with strict environmental and community safeguards in place. The mistakes made in parts of South America and China, where lithium mining led to long-term damage, must not be repeated in West Africa. That said, the opportunity here is to build a model that proves Africa can extract and process critical minerals in a way that benefits its people, protects its environment, and contributes to global sustainability. Ghana is in a unique position to set a precedent. If they succeed in creating a transparent, environmentally sound, and economically inclusive lithium to EV pipeline, they won't just benefit locally, they'll become a case study for how African nations can leapfrog into modern green economies. Another key layer to this story is Ghana's regional role within the Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS. As one of the more politically stable and economically proactive countries in the region, Ghana is well placed to lead West Africa into the green mobility age. An EV plant in Ghana doesn't just serve Ghana. It could be the supplier of electric buses for Nigerian cities, electric delivery vehicles for Ivorian businesses, and even electric motorcycles for rural mobility across Togo, Benin, and Burkina Faso. The plant could also stimulate a secondary industry around battery assembly, parts manufacturing, software for smart vehicles, and even lithium recycling. These industries are already booming in places like India and Vietnam. Ghana could learn from their experiences, adapt their models, and localize them for West African conditions. They don't have to copy, they can customize. Ghana's emphasis on strategic diplomacy is also crucial. Instead of relying solely on loans or aid packages, this project reflects a growing maturity in how Ghana engages globally, choosing partnerships that bring long-term value, insisting on equity, and negotiating for technology transfer. That's a smarter, more resilient path to development. It's not just about who invests in Ghana, it's about what Ghana gets out of the deal. The announcement didn't specify the name of the international partner yet, but observers are speculating that it could be a major EV manufacturer or a Chinese consortium with stakes in African lithium. Whoever the investor may be, the terms of the deal will be critical. Will the plant be majority Ghanaian owned? Will Ghanaian engineers be trained to run the technology independently? Will the lithium be refined locally or exported raw? These are the questions that will define whether this initiative transforms Ghana's economy or simply enriches a few foreign interests. One thing is clear: this is the kind of bold vision that Africa needs. It's not about waiting for charity or handouts. It's about leveraging natural resources in a way that creates long-term economic strength, global relevance, and generational opportunities. Ghana has the chance to lead by example, and the world is watching. If this electric vehicle plant becomes a reality, Ghana could witness one of the most significant economic transformations in its post-independence history. It's not just about building cars, it's about establishing a foundation for an entire ecosystem of innovation, sustainability, and regional influence. Let's talk about jobs, because at the heart of economic progress are the livelihoods of real people. The potential job creation from this project cannot be overstated. Beyond the construction and operations of the plant itself, an entire value chain could emerge, ranging from lithium mining, transportation and refining to battery production, software engineering, quality assurance, and vehicle assembly. Small and medium enterprises, SMEs, could also flourish by providing ancillary services like logistics, packaging, maintenance, and supply of raw materials. This is the type of opportunity that can absorb thousands of unemployed graduates and skilled artisans who've struggled to find their place in a shifting economy. More importantly, this project could drive technical education reform. With a need for engineers, technicians, and battery specialists, institutions like KNUST, Accra Technical University, UENR, and others would have a strong incentive to expand and modernise their science and engineering programs. It may also open doors for technical partnerships with foreign universities and technology institutes, bringing in new curricula focused on lithium battery chemistry, renewable energy systems, smart mobility, and sustainable manufacturing. In political terms, this initiative aligns with President John Mahama's industrialization agenda and could serve as a landmark achievement for his administration. Ghanaian citizens have grown tired of promises that never materialise. A functioning electric vehicle plant would represent not just a policy success, but a proof of concept that it's possible to build world-class infrastructure and modern industries on Ghanaian soil using Ghanaian resources for the benefit of Ghanaian people. Politically, it could become a flagship achievement that helps restore trust in government and raise national morale. At the same time, this project adds an important dimension to Ghana's diplomatic strategy. They are no longer engaging in traditional diplomacy focused solely on aid or security. They are leaning into development diplomacy, where the goal is to attract strategic investment, build industrial partnerships, and negotiate from a position of strength. This is the kind of diplomacy that reflects a shift from dependency to empowerment. It's how emerging economies like Rwanda, Vietnam, and Ethiopia have begun to climb the global industrial ladder. Ghana appears to be taking a page from that playbook, but what about the African continent as a whole? This project could have ripple effects far beyond Ghana's borders. Africa is often described as the final frontier for economic growth, yet it continues to lag in industrialization. If Ghana succeeds in launching this EV plant and shows clear economic returns, it could inspire other African countries, especially those with lithium, cobalt, or rare earth mineral reserves, to think differently about how they leverage their resources. It could even lead to regional cooperation, where countries specialize in different parts of the EV value chain, mining in one country, processing in another, manufacturing in a third, creating a shared industrial network across the continent. This kind of success would also challenge the common narrative that African nations must always rely on foreign aid to develop. Instead, it sends a message that development can be driven by vision, strategy, and smart partnerships rooted in mutual benefit. It's not about charity, it's about collaboration. The global context also adds urgency to this story. The world is at a crossroads. Climate change is accelerating, oil prices remain volatile, and consumer demand is shifting rapidly toward cleaner, more efficient technologies. As countries commit to net zero emissions by 2050, the demand for electric vehicles is expected to skyrocket. According to the International Energy Agency, global EV sales could reach over 45 million units annually by 2030. That's a massive market, and Ghana could claim a small but strategic piece of it. If Ghana becomes an early mover in Africa's EV market, it gains a first-mover advantage. It can shape regulations, influence regional trade policy under AfCFTA, African Continental Free Trade Area, and attract more investment as a hub of stability, innovation, and green technology. It could even become a test market for African-designed EVs tailored to the continent's road conditions, climate, and energy infrastructure. But Ghana must also be strategic in how it rolls this out. For the plant to be truly transformative, it must be paired with energy infrastructure capable of supporting electric vehicle usage. This includes investments in grid reliability, charging stations across cities and highways, and affordable electricity rates. A comprehensive EV rollout also requires government policy support, such as tax breaks for manufacturers, reduced import duties on components, and subsidies or incentives for consumers willing to buy electric vehicles. Public awareness campaigns will also play a critical role. Ghanaians must be educated on the benefits of EVs, not just for the environment, but for their wallets. Electric cars cost less to operate and maintain in the long run. But unless people trust the product and infrastructure, uptake will be slow. The success of this plant will ultimately depend not only on exports but also on domestic adoption. Ghana needs to become a user of what it produces, not just a seller to the outside world. There's also a need for legislative reform. Laws that govern mining, local content, and environmental protection must be updated to reflect the new reality. Ghana must protect its lithium wealth while ensuring fair revenue sharing, environmental justice, and community development. If mismanaged, lithium could become a curse, fueling corruption, land grabs, and unrest. If managed wisely, it could become a blessing that drives inclusive, long-term prosperity. Environmental groups and civil society also have a role to play. They must hold both the government and private investors accountable for how resources are extracted and how communities are treated. Transparent reporting, community consent, and environmental impact assessments should not be seen as obstacles, but as pillars of responsible development. And finally, this story speaks to the broader question of African self-determination. For too long, African countries have been seen as suppliers of raw materials, gold, cocoa, timber, oil, while the real value is added elsewhere. This electric vehicle initiative could mark a turning point where African nations say, we will not just dig, we will design, we will build, and we will lead. Ghana stands at a pivotal moment in history. They have the resources, the political will, and now the diplomatic momentum to become a green tech leader in Africa. But execution will be everything. If the right structures, policies, and partnerships are put in place, Ghana could write a new chapter, not only for itself, but for the continent. This isn't just another project announcement. It's a litmus test for Africa's ability to climb the industrial ladder on its own terms. The world is shifting. The question is, will Ghana move with it or lead it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Ghana will successfully launch this electric vehicle plant and become a hub for green automotive technology in West Africa? Or do you see challenges ahead that might delay or derail the vision? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone interested in Africa's industrial future. Turn on notifications so you never miss a powerful breakdown like this one.